Today I'm going to share with you a lot of different projects that we have had going on through these winter months where we have spent a lot of our time indoors. I'm also going to be doing a giveaway as a thank you to finally hitting 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate all of you so very much. Thank you so much for joining me today. The first project that I have going on today really isn't quite a project as it is a maintenance that we have to continue to maintain in the kitchen, which is our water kefir. I will put it on hold occasionally whenever I get tired of making it constantly, but I am super excited because I ordered these new lids on Amazon to make this process a little bit easier. This is definitely not necessary, but I will link it below if you are interested. If you want to make kefir a very streamlined, easy process, this has been the best way that I have found to make it the easiest for me. It is a special lid that has a strainer on the top so that the grains, the kefir grains, will not go through, and you can pour straight from the jar. It also has a special lid that allows it to seal or vent, which is super cool. But today I'm going to feed the water kefir. I'm also going to pour it into my swing top bottles so that it can get its second fermentation where it will get carbonated, which makes the nice bubbly yummy drink that we like to enjoy usually with our dinner. I like to make grape water kefir, but you can use lots of different other juices to make whatever flavor you want. You can also add fruit into your kefir and it will ferment the sugars in the fruit instead of the sugars in a juice. You just have to be careful because whenever you are doing the second fermentation, it definitely can get super carbonated, and whenever you pop open the bottle, it will spray everywhere. I actually have had that happen, and it went all over the kitchen. So now I'm much more careful to cover it with a towel or something and open it just a little bit at a time, or I will try to open it each day just to let some of the carbonation out. And I think a lot of people call that burping the bottle. That has been really helpful. But for a long time I was struggling to keep up making the kefir because I was having to use my mesh strainer, pour it into a separate container to strain out the kefir grains, and then I was getting a lot of dishes dirty, and I didn't want to deal with all of that every few days whenever I was making the water kefir. So whenever I found out about these lids, I was so excited because I like to keep mine venting just a bit. Now I am going to move on to making some homemade breakfast bars for my baby. She is 1, so she can now have honey, but you can make these with maple syrup if you wanted. But it has almonds, oats, chia seeds, flaxseed, honey, vanilla, coconut oil, bananas, and applesauce. I think that's all the ingredients. Oh, and cinnamon. Whenever I was making it today, I did not have a big jar of applesauce, and so I ended up having to use applesauce pouches, which obviously is going to be more expensive to do that, but that's all I had on hand, so I just used it. And today I also used maple syrup. You know, whenever you're making stuff in the kitchen, you just kind of swap out whatever it is that you may not have. Just find something that is pretty similar, and you can usually make your recipes work. That is one thing I do love about cooking, is there's not a one way to do everything. You can make things work for you, make things work for your family, make things work for whatever it is that you have on hand. And today that was kind of something I found a few different recipes online that kind of gave me inspiration for this, but I didn't have all of the different things that each of the recipes called for, and so I just wanted to make something similar to what I found, and I was able to come up with something with the ingredients that I already had that my baby really enjoys. Even my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old really like these bars. I smoothed it out using a spatula. It was kind of sticky, so I oiled the spatula with some coconut oil, and I was able to smooth it out a whole lot easier. And then I baked it in the oven at 350 for probably about 20-25 minutes. Once I have made this recipe a few times, I will share it over on my blog at littletennesseehome.com, so that if you are interested in making it, you can. I just used a pizza cutter to cut it up into bar shapes, and this is one of her favorite things to eat for breakfast. There's a brand, I can't even remember what the brand is right now, but there is a baby brand that she likes to eat. Oh, I think it's Plum Organics, but they just get so expensive. Here you can see my water kefir is nice and bubbly. It has been fermenting in the fridge after fermenting on the counter for a couple of days, and this is going to be super tasty. I'm moving on to making some homemade foaming soap. I got some new foaming hand soap bottles from Walmart. They were in the clearance section. They were the Grove Company brand, and I'm not really sure why they were in the clearance. I think because maybe some soap had leaked on the boxes, and so nobody wanted the dirty boxes. But you know what? I didn't really care because it was cheap. So I wouldn't say I'm addicted to buying soap bottles, but I just haven't found the soap bottle that I really love for foaming hand soap yet. And I am just telling you, I love these. I have been using them for a bit now, and they work really well. You know, some foaming soap bottles get clogged up or they don't foam right. They'll foam for a little while and then don't want to foam anymore. I just made my own foaming hand soap using essential oils and Dr. Bronner's soap and almond oil for moisturizing, because especially during the winter your hands need lots of moisturizer, at least mine do. Probably, I don't know, it's probably been a month or so when we first dealt with the leaking under the sink, and my husband tore out underneath all of the wood and put new wood down, and everything is all dry. I did not have time to make it look the way I wanted it to whenever he first fixed it, so now I had a little extra time. I was able to clean out all of the dust, the sawdust and everything, and give it a nice coat of glossy paint. I felt like this would, 1, protect the wood, and 2, make it much easier to clean. I'm also going to put down some of the contact paper on the bottom just to make it look nicer. So as you can see, this is not the most nice looking cabinet. Now, my husband did a great job fixing the bottom, but the particle board or pressed wood that is in there from before, you can tell at the bottom that it had dry rot a bit, but it is fully dry. There is no mold on it, and I have no desire to replace those pieces of wood because you're not going to see it. It is not in a place where people are looking. I'm going to paint over it to keep any more of the wood from flaking off. Unless you are digging through my bottom cabinet, moving stuff around, you're not going to see it. So I didn't feel like it was something worth wasting our time and effort over. We also have this side small cabinet that I love to put my pans and cutting boards in, and it has been needing some attention as well. Honestly, our entire kitchen would benefit from new cabinets. However, that is a super expensive investment. We are planning eventually to replace all of the cabinet doors on the bottom cabinets and then completely replace the upper cabinets because we want them to go all the way to the ceiling, and we want them to be a little bit deeper because they're pretty shallow right now. But you know what? I felt like that would be the best for our budget. However, that's still not in our budget currently, so we are just upkeeping what we have right now, making the best of it. and taking care of the things that we have right now. In the crack between the side and the bottom wood, there was quite a bit of a gap just because of how the board had deteriorated some. So I took a thin piece of wood and shimmied that down in the hole to kind of fill the gap, then covered it up with silicone caulk. Now I'm going to put in the contact paper. This has been my favorite contact paper to use in any cabinets that I'm putting contact paper down in. It looks like a nice white and gray marble. I have used it in our bathroom, and I used it in our half bathroom before we redid that one, and now I'm going to use it in these. I think eventually I will do it in all of the cabinets, but that's going to be something that I will do over time. I'm not going to tackle that as a huge project right now. I was able to get it in pretty straight. I had a little bit of extra here on the left side, so I used a sharp box cutter to go right along the edge and peel that up and make it fit nice. Now that we don't have any problems with the water leaking down through the sink and those holes from the previous faucet, I am not as worried about this getting damaged, but I do feel good that it at least has contact paper that will help prevent any water going through on the wood, as well as all of the glossy paint that will make it much easier to wipe up and clean up if there was to be anything that leaked down there. So I'm going to put all of our stuff back under the cabinet. We like to keep large and regular size garbage bags on hand. And then I have a basket full of clean dishcloths that are made by, I call her my neat, but she's my grandmother. And then I have a basket for dirty ones because I just collect them till the basket is full. Then I do a load of dishcloths along with towels, and that is just what works for me. I have this little organizer that I got from the Container Store. I actually think it's for shoes, but it works really well to keep my sponges and different brushes and whatever else that I need for cleaning in the kitchen. I store some jars, my couple of vases down here, and all of my bottles of soap or stain remover or my homemade cleaner that I use, the On Guard concentrate. So I'm going to go ahead and top off some of these bottles and try to combine some things so that there's not as much down here and put everything back where it goes. I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. I'm so thankful my husband fixed the bottom, and then I was able to paint and put down the contact paper. I feel so much better about it now, and it's much more functional because it isn't all bowed at the bottom and things falling on each other. I went ahead and made this side cabinet look nice as well. This skinny cabinet it was ridiculous trying to put the contact paper in there and trying to paint in there. It was pretty hard, but now it looks pretty nice, and not many people look in there, and even if you do, you can't really see in there. It's really dark. So only the first like 3 or 4 inches at the beginning mattered anyway. So put all my stuff back in there, and now it is looking nice. We made a whole bunch of yogurt pouches. I have a recipe for how to make your own homemade yogurt and then turn it into like a drinkable yogurt. Then you can use this, just pour it in a cup, or you can put them in yogurt pouches. You can put them in popsicle molds. My kids love all of the different ways to enjoy yogurt that has fruit pureed in it. Right now I'm just making a bunch of pouches, and I made several popsicles. We call them yo-yo pops. And the reason that I'm making so many yogurt pouches, my boys can easily drink yogurt out of a straw, or they could use a spoon and scoop yogurt out of a cup, but I do have a 1-year-old and it's much easier for her to use a pouch. So we kind of go through stages of using a pouch, not using a pouch. It's also a very convenient way to freeze the yogurt and take it along with us. We went to the zoo recently and they were great to just grab out of the freezer, throw in the cooler bag, and by the time they were ready for them, they had thawed enough and they were a nice cool treat for them to enjoy. So we use this Infantino squeeze station. I will link that if you're interested in it. You don't have to have this, but it is my favorite way. I've tried multiple different ways of filling up baby pouches, and this has been my favorite way to fill up yogurt pouches, or pouches just in general. So I ended up making like over 30 pouches, and there was probably 15 or more yogurt pops, frozen popsicles in the freezer, and they did not last but for probably about 2 weeks. Another project that we had going on was outside, and I say a project that we had going on. Really, my husband did all of the work out here. I just kind of had the vision for it, and that's usually how it works, is I have some type of vision, I tell him about it, and then he makes it happen. So I'm really thankful that he's super handy and is always willing to do whatever the projects are that I really am wanting to do. But I wanted to create a nice outdoor space for us to enjoy during the warmer months, and even in some of the colder months we could sit around the fire. So I'm touching up some of the poles that needed to be sanded so that we can paint them. I also got in my doTERRA order. I am unpacking it right now. We got a lot of different vitamins and things because we're planning on doing the 30-day cleanse just to help improve our gut health. I usually think it's a good idea to do this after the holidays, when most of the time you eat a lot more unhealthy foods than usual. I just went ahead and got all of that ready. Now I'm also getting some of our dough ready to make some bread, and I feel like this is a perfect time to say thank you to all of my viewers for our channel hitting 1,000 subscribers. And to say thank you for that, I am giving away one of my potato flake sourdough starters that I sell over on Etsy. To be entered to win this drawing, just subscribe, like this video, and comment on this video to be entered to win the drawing. I will announce the winner on March 19th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will post it in the comments below and get in contact with whoever the winner is, and they will receive a free portion of my potato flake starter. They can use it themselves or share it with a friend, whatever it is you want to do with it. But I just wanted to say thank you for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching today and joining me as I get lots of different projects done around our home. See you again soon.